Hello there, today we're going to take a look at the 5 best 40-inch TVs in the market for this year. We're going to show you our 5 best picks and we'll talk about whether or not you should buy it. We'll put the links to all of the products we mentioned in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. Number 5. Samsung Q60T QLED TV. The Samsung Q60T QLED occupies an important spot in Samsung's TV lineup, being the cheapest of the brand's QLED sets, and therefore effectively, the worst-best Samsung TV released last year. The main draw here is the price, with the Q60T starting at just $529, £599 for the smallest 43-inch size, or $1,495 Australian dollars for a 55-inch model. You'll find a full breakdown of the screen size/price options below. That's a fraction of the cost of Samsung's Q95T 4K QLED or flagship Q950TS 8K, and will no doubt ensure that the Q60T finds its way into more homes than its premium siblings. You're getting a drop in processing power compared to the Q60R, with a Quantum Processor Lite chip instead of the Quantum Processor 4K used in most QLED models. Edge lighting 2 lighting system that illuminates the picture from the sides rather than behind the panel, is a cheap way to light up a set's images, but means there are issues with consistency of brightness, off-axis viewing, and the strength of HDR objects. Number 4. Panasonic HX800 LED TV. The best 40-inch TV? That accolade should really go to the Panasonic HX800. You won't get it in the US, which means it drops a little in this guide, though for anyone in the UK, Europe, Australia or Canada it should be your first port of call. As the successor to the GX800, which topped this list the year before, the HX800 continues everything that made us fall in love with Panasonic's mid-range LCD offering in the first place, with a sweet spot of price, performance, and functionality all in one. Panasonic gets a lot of goodwill by offering multi-HDR support, throwing in HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, and HLG in a single set, and is also unique in how this support is implemented across so much of its TV range. As a mid-range LCD, it's incredible that Panasonic ensures it has the same format support as higher-end OLED TVs like the new HC1000 and HC1500. Number 3. Samsung TU8000 series. If you're after a Samsung TV that won't cost the earth, look no further than the TU8000 series. It's a solid performer, with Samsung's characteristically good upscaling and solid motion handling too. You'll find a crisp 4K picture here, as well as support for HDR10 Plus Dynamic HDR. It's a great choice for gamers, too, with just 9.7 milliseconds input lag, which is pretty astonishing for the price. This is an edge-lit set, meaning brightness isn't as consistent, or high, as on some higher-end QLED TVs. The lack of wide color gamut, too, combined with middling brightness, means this isn't the best TV for HDR either, and those after a real step-up in performance should look at the Q80T QLED instead. But for a solid mid-range LCD set, you could do a lot worse than the TU8000. Number 2. TCL4 series. The TCL4 series isn't as exciting as the company's 6 series QLED with mini LED, but it's surprisingly good value at around $200, and a solid choice in our best TCL TV guide. The 4 series is available in 2 different variations based on its smart platform, either Roku TV or Android TV. However, we strongly recommend opting for the Roku model for its smoother performance, usability and security. Disappointingly, the 4 series doesn't have all the latest specs, no HDMI 2.1, VRR, etc., but it does support HDR10 and HLG forms of HDR, has a built-in 800 2.11 acres wireless antenna, and has one HDMI port, with ARC, which is great for folks who want to cut down on the number of remotes in their house. It's not the best TCL TV on the planet, but if you're limited to a 40-inch TV and want to have hundreds of streaming channels at your fingertips, the TCL 4 Series Roku TV is a smart bet and a very good value. Number 1. Vizio V Series. The V in the Vizio V Series TVs has always stood for value, but you could easily argue that it should stand for versatile instead, as it's one of the most feature-rich TVs in the budget category. With support for HDR, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision and HLG, plus Chromecast built-in and AirPlay, the V Series is a veritable Swiss Army knife of budget TVs. Unfortunately, despite all these technologies, the V Series is still a pretty budget-oriented set and its picture is only fair, contrast isn't off the charts and its color saturation could use some work, too. Its biggest issue is that of awful off-axis viewing, more than 45 degrees, that turns what is a fine and acceptable picture to a really desaturated mess. If you can stay perfectly in front of it, don't mind less than stellar image quality and can deal with a few issues in speed and performance, however, it's an affordable TV series that packs in a lot of the technology that makes the top TVs from LG and Samsung the best in the world.